Hey YouTube, Heather Lynn Chikoski here. I'm a licensed realtor in the state of Massachusetts. Today I just want to take a couple minutes and let's explore this idea of, is now the time to stop being a renter and become a homeowner? I think it is, but if you hang out through the whole video, I'll tell you why. Let's get started. I think that your first instinct is probably to be like, of course she's a realtor. Of course she's saying it's time to buy a home. All realtors want to sell homes, which of course we do. I mean, that's what we do. But realtors also do rentals. So this isn't my bias as a realtor speaking. This is me saying, looking at the market as I see it today, I think that this is the time to really start truly thinking about whether it is time to start making some of these moves. We're going to talk about some of the factors that you should be taking into consideration, some of the influencers, interest rates, equity, tax breaks. These are some of the things that I usually say to people, like, take a look at this and see if the math makes sense. Let's break this down. There's a few different things that you should be taking a look at if you are a renter and have ever been sort of flirting with this idea of, should I be a homeowner? Now is absolutely the time to start exploring that. And there's a few reasons why. Interest rates are low. They are crazy low. They're hovering for most people, the average buyer, right around the low 3%. This is a huge influencer as to what you can or cannot afford to buy. And this is a historic low. So 6 months ago, they were a little bit lower, but that was crazy low. This is still a very historic low. If we looked at this time of year in 2019, interest rates were hovering at about 4.5%. Now they're hovering at a low 3%. So what does that mean for you as a buyer? This means two things. There's two reasons why this is a huge influencer. The first reason is that it allows you to start throwing more money at the principal and less money in interest. You spend a little less and you can pay it off so much faster because more of your money is going towards the principal versus the interest. You say to yourself, like, I would rather be able to pay something off in 15 years instead of having this amazing home. I will buy something that is easily affordable. I'll fix it up a little bit myself and I'm going to throw that money at the principal. That is a reality. With interest rates in the low 3s, high 2s, this is an absolute reality, and it opens up this gate to homeownership to a lot wider pool, which is why we're seeing so many buyers right now. There's a million buyers out there because of these great interest rates. The other way that interest rates sort of come into play here is the people who have been, renting because it's just not the right time to buy their dream home. Now is the right time to buy your dream home, because all of a sudden low interest rates have now brought homes that were once, it was once that so much money was being spent on the interest that you couldn't afford this other house. Those houses have now dropped into a reachable range because the interest rates are so low. If we fast forward, 6-12 months and interest rates go back up, it is going to completely change the market as to what buyers can or can't afford simply because of the interest rates. So long story short, interest rates are amazing right now, and interest rates are hugely influential about what is out there as an option for a buyer. Now I know what you're thinking. It is a seller's market. Everybody keeps telling me it's a seller's market. And the perception is that it's a seller's market. And I'm not saying it isn't. It is a great time to be a seller because there's so little inventory out there. But let's not forget, as a buyer, it really is the interest rate that is the game changer. So it is a seller's market, but it is absolutely a buyer's market as well. So don't be tricked or scared into thinking like now is not the time to buy because sellers are getting such great prices for their houses. This is true. They are getting great prices. But let's talk about why that's the case. Perception is that, and they're spending so much money to buy a house right now. What is happening is houses are coming on the market under market value. So what that means is that when a listing comes out, instead of pricing it where things are selling, homeowners are pricing it below the market value. They're pricing it lower than they know it's going to sell for. And this is intentional. The reason for this is by pricing it low, it gets more people in the door, more people excited. It wraps up this whole process just a little bit faster. But what'll happen is that house will actually sell at market value. So this is why you're seeing what is being referred to as a seller's market. The other big influencer here is equity. Especially in, my local area, which is, Westfield, Massachusetts, so Western Mass. Rental rates are not low. Homeowners that are renting out apartments in homes are making a really good amount of money for this. So if you start looking at, the amount of money you would spend monthly to have a rental versus what you might have as a mortgage, you will probably find that your mortgage rate would actually be less than you are paying for a rental. Now, of course, there's drawbacks to this, right? So it's not all sunshine and rainbows as a homeowner, as everybody who's ever been a homeowner well knows. There's expenses that come with it, So you do sort of incur some of the, costs that come with maintaining a home that you wouldn't have as a renter. But if there is indeed, and you'd have to talk to your mortgage broker, but if there is indeed a really big gap between what you're paying in rent and what you might be paying as a mortgage, and you might end up better off if you're buying a house that's basically move-in ready. If you buy a fixer-upper, well, that's a game changer, of course. But I would highly recommend taking a few minutes and actually looking at what you're spending in a rental versus what you would be spending if you would actually have a mortgage. The other thing that you should be considering when you're talking about is it time to be a homeowner versus a renter is the equity that you gain in a property as a homeowner that you are not getting as a renter. As a renter, you are actually investing in somebody else's property. When you end that lease and your contract is up, you walk away with no equity. As a homeowner, if you decide a year or 2 years after you've bought the property that your lifestyle has changed and you need to make a move, you put it on the market, you sell it, and you cash out, and you have equity in that property. So equity is huge, and it should be something that you're taking into consideration when you're debating, like, do I be a homeowner or do I be a renter? Equity is an influencer. The other thing that I think people often forget about, it's just not on our radar, is tax incentives, right? So as a renter, you're not getting to write off the interest that is spent on a homeownership because you are not a homeowner. Homeowners do. You get to actually write off the amount of money that you spent throughout the year on interest. So this is a huge benefit when it comes to claiming your taxes each year. So these are just a couple of reasons that I really think it's a good time to sort of take a look at the numbers and see if maybe you need to make some lifestyle changes. It's a good time to sort of start flirting with these ideas a little bit. So let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything that I can do to help. But good luck, and we'll talk soon. Bye.